Hey everyone, it's Jane. I just wanted to do a really quick one today. A shout out to my hometown. In my last video, I was talking about two memoirs written about Iran, and I said that literature is a great way to travel without going anywhere. And that's true, but for all I love learning about other places, there is nothing quite like reading a book set in your own hometown, that seeing things that you know about in real life on the page. So I've got just a couple of honourable mentions, and then I've got a runner-up and my all-time favourite to show you tonight. So honourable mentions. I recently read Ellie Marnie's Every Breath, which is a YA retelling of Sherlock Holmes, essentially. You've got a Sherlock Holmesian high school student with his next door neighbour chick who's Watson, and it's kind of fun. But the thing is, it's set in Melbourne and it's got some beautiful touches about Melbourne. So that's first honourable mention. Second honourable mention is the Karina Chapman books. By Kerry Greenwood. Karina Chapman is one of her characters that she's written a number of books about. This one, Karina is a crime-fighting baker who happens to run a bakery in the Melbourne CBD. These are fun books, nothing too substantial but entertaining, but there's lots of little details, especially about stuff right in the city. The third honourable mention is actually a futuristic sci-fi book, Jennifer Government by Max Barry, which is set at a point in the future where Australia no longer exists as a political entity. And so Jennifer, our central character, lives in Melbourne, USA, which, is a fun idea. My runner-up is a new book. It's just out this year, and it's an interesting book for a whole bunch of reasons. One of the things that I just loved about this book is its portrayal of Melbourne, Australia, and Melbourne in particular. Most of the book is set in Melbourne. It's set in a Melbourne that I don't actually know, because it's the time period of the novel is the Vietnam War era, late 60s, early 70s. The language in the novel is very Australiana. It's got a very particular tone, and I loved it. I love the Australianness of the voice in this, and lots of little details about Melbourne from that era. So there's my runner-up, Songs of Jesse Adams by Peter McKinnon. And my absolute favourite Melbourne of all time in literature is Murray Whelan's Melbourne. Murray Whelan is the central character that Shane Maloney writes about in a number of his books. I think there's about 5 of them. I should absolutely know because I've read them all. There hasn't been a new one in a while. I don't know whether there will be any more. But if Murray makes a comeback, I am so out there buying that book on the first day it's out, because Murray is a great character. He's essentially a political fixer. In the early couple of books, he is a staffer for a Victorian local member of Parliament. In later books, that member has become part of the government, and then he actually has ministerial responsibilities later on, and Murray, as his staffer, kind of gets sort of carried up the food chain. But Murray is getting his hands dirty every day. He's a political fixer. He's the person that you turn to when things have gone wrong. So he's basically called upon to clean up people's messes. This one is about stuff that's happening within a union. This one I have here is about an Olympic bid. Melbourne's bidding to host the Olympics. There's another one that's about an art theft. There's a couple of other ones. But all I've got to say to you is, if you live in Melbourne and you have not read these books, do yourself a favour. Just seriously, even if you're not a crime person, the loving detail portrayal of Melbourne it's par excellence in these books. And if you, I'm assuming that most of you watching this do not live in Melbourne. If you would like a taste of what life in Melbourne is like, I cannot recommend more highly giving one of these Murray Whelan books a try. And for those of you who aren't from Melbourne, I would love to hear in the comments what book you think best gives the flavour of your hometown. A recommendation for me to learn a bit about where you're from. That's all I've got to say tonight. I will see you later. Bye.